Hey you, how's it going? My name is Ruby Price and you are listening to the 24th ever episode of Fresh from the Scene. On today's show we have the first ever full episode repeat guests who are Jamie, Connor and Tom from Resist In Retrospect, and they will be announcing something very exciting, so make sure you stay tuned. There's links in the description to everything you need going forward, so without further ado, here we go with episode 24 of Fresh from the Scene.
You're listening to Fresh from the Scene with your host, Ruby Price.
Welcome to Fresh from the Scene. Today's guests are the returning guests, are the lovely boys from Resist In Retrospect.
Hi.
Hello again.
Hello. And this time I didn't have to worry about turning your microphones on because, yes, I listened to last time and remembered that I said hello and didn't have anything turned on, so...
Yeah, I was listening back to that as well. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot we had to introduce ourselves twice.
Yeah. So for people who, want to get familiar with voices, who have we got?
Hey, it's Tom here.
Hey, it's Connor.
And it's Jamie here.
And we've got another Connor away because I actually know the name this time round.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
Connor number 2.
So the last time I had you guys on here, 2020 was still, optimistic. There was a gig about to happen, which is also, I'm guessing, all of our last gigs.
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, you said lots of things that were going to happen, and obviously they wouldn't have happened. But yeah, what's happened in this last year? What's going on?
I was going to say, quite literally, like I was listening back to it, and I thought, it's like, when talking about that, I said, right, we tried this recording in first year, it failed. We tried recording in second year, we failed. We're now recording in third year, third time's a charm. Everything's going smoothly so far. And then literally 3 weeks later, the world falls apart. So,
Yeah, I think it was almost a sign.
Yeah, I kind of tempted fate there. So apologies, everyone. But no, we kind of put the album on the back burner for a long time, I guess. Tried to kind of get our head around things. I think all of us were in a state of being bogged down with uni work and stuff, and then just general other mental health things was like, well, we can't be bothered doing stuff at the moment. But eventually, towards the end of 2020, we suddenly got the kind of rush of like, right, we need to get on with this. We need to finish this. So we started recording remotely, and actual progress has been made. We are there now.
It was really difficult, obviously, because for people who listened last time, we were like, yeah, I think we said we would put an album out by May or something like that.
Yep.
I think we said May, June time. And that definitely didn't go to plan. Like Jamie was saying, it was just, we were all too busy trying to A, survive the pandemic, B, survive finishing university.
And C, survive university and the pandemic at the same time.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. And then sort of about September, October time, we thought, screw it, let's just do something. And we just made headway with it.
Yeah. We're kind of at a weird point where it's like Tom and I have now started like proper full-time jobs and all that. So it's like, it's kind of a weird at the moment, but like I just kind of said, right, it would be a disservice if we didn't actually put something out after all the amount of times we tried to put something out. So we're now putting something out.
4 years of being a band, which is mad because I think that's the longest ever time I've ever spent on something musical ever. In the 10 years or so I've been doing music now, this has been the single longest project per se, which has been a lot of fun.
We've got songs now.
Yeah, a lot of songs. I was going to say as well, I think if it's coming out March 5th, it might actually be 4 years to the day of when we tried recording the first time in first year.
That's mad, as if.
Yeah.
I think we'll give ourselves a little bit of like a pass for first year because it was like we were still very new and fresh to the whole kind of. I know Tom had been doing. You came to us with the songs and everything like that. You'd had a little bit of audio recording experience, And I only had very basic, and Jamie almost didn't really have any at that point. It wasn't until later on where we started to get a little bit more hands-on with it.
Yeah, I'd only ever done like 2 like small gigs for friends, and then like perform at school like cabarets and stuff, and but beyond that, nothing.
Yeah. This was, I think, for all 3 of us, it was like the most sort of ambitious and professional thing we wanted to do, and it's nice to finally start feeling that coming to fruition, which is great. I feel so much better now that we're finally doing stuff again.
I'm going to start, talking about last time's podcast. I think it came out a year ago today.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, which is also pretty baffling. But yeah, you said in the last one that the Radiohead Presents gig was your first gig in 25 months.
Yeah,
and our last.
And probably our last for 25 months as well.
Yeah. Tom, how was that gig?
Oh, it was great. I mean, we were so lucky with the timing, to be honest, because that was just start of March, right before lockdown. We managed to squeeze in Radiohead Presents. I think the gig went really well. We played with some other really great bands there as well. So just really fortunate that we actually got to play that, because had it been 2 weeks later, even, like, we would have been stuffed. I actually managed to squeeze in another gig later that week. I think it was like 2 days later. I went to another gig in Manchester, saw Lewis Cole, fantastic. So I was super jammy with the gigs. I mean, ended up missing quite a few later on due to the circumstances, but can't complain.
As the person who was there, filming and photographing the gig, it was a fun time, and I'm quite glad that if it was going to be my last gig of God knows how long, it was at least a good one to end it with.
Yeah, it does feel a little bit sort of like special in a way, that knowing that, like, not so much for Tom, because obviously squeezed in that last one, but for quite a lot of people, especially who were there that night, like, we were their last gig, and so was for all the other artists who were playing as well. So it kind of feels a little bit nice to know that for a lot of people it was us, and we really, really appreciate that, because that was such an amazing night.
For sure. What I also realized is we're technically one of the last ever bands to have played the old parish.
Yeah, we were.
Because they then, during the pandemic, they've now moved to what used to be Tokyo, which I find quite hilarious, actually. But
they've done it out super nice, though, actually. They've done it really, really nicely.
Yeah, it looks really amazing there. It's like, once everything's open and we can all find a day that suits all of us to organize a gig, might as well go up and try and play New Parish, see what that's like.
The new venue does look really cool. I saw it when I was there, and I can't wait to be, videoing bands in there again. Just for something different as well, like Old Parish is legendary in Huddersfield lore. If you're a band in Huddersfield, if you haven't played Parish, you're not really a band. Just because it's one of those milestones. Everyone's got the photos with all that, graffiti on the side of the walls, sticking your stickers to the, board and stuff.
There's one thing we never did.
The one thing we never did was get a sticker on there. We never got a sticker produced on time, and we always said we needed to do that.
Even just one sticker would have been great. Maybe we can sneak in. Well,
the building's still there.
Yeah. Or if they're creating a new sticker wall at New Parish eventually, we put it on there.
Yes, that'd be good. That'd be amazing to do. That was one thing I was upset about. No sticker.
After hearing this, Mikey just is like, all right, no sticker rule.
Oh, imagine.
Mikey, please let us put a sticker in New Parish.
He puts up a no sticker rule, but we all just double down, and each time it's like 2 stickers instead of 1.
2 stickers, super glue.
Put one in a place that he won't be able to find. Put it under a table or something. It'll take a while for them to notice.
Yeah, that's really great promo.
Yeah, we'll put it on a table and then graffiti over it, because Parish tables obviously, get
that is true.
Yes, that's very true. Did we put something into a table, or am I imagining things?
We can neither confirm nor deny that. on this podcast.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, for legal reasons.
Yeah.
For legal reasons. Last thing from the last podcast, I guess. Obviously, you said that you were, recording, releasing an album, 16 tracks and all of that stuff. Alex Kopp producing. Let's go forward. I believe you guys have something to announce.
Yeah. Basically, we had discussions with Alex. It's like we thought, right, okay, to kind of pace it easier, let's scrap the album idea and let's make it 4 EPs instead. And we are going to announce now that the first EP will be released in 2 weeks' time on March 19th. It'll be called Viridian, and it will contain 3 songs, which are You Are the River, which has been out for a week now as a single. We'll also have Long Way Round, which we debuted at Radio Hud Presents last year. And we will also have Moldy Raspberry, which is one of the ones that we've been playing ever since our first gig.
I'm really looking forward to people's reactions when they see like, oh, You Are the River, Long Way Around, Moldy Raspberry.
Yeah.
I've always loved that, like, that kind of was not a joke song, but a kind of a joke title that Tom kind of came forward with. And we never questioned it, nor did we ever think to change it. It was just right to keep it named that way.
Yeah, I have a bad habit of just naming stuff the first couple of words that come to my head at the moment when a name is required. So, sometimes you never get around to finding a proper name.
I mean, most recent Kill the Silence single, It's All Downhill From Here, was originally called Wasted.
Ah.
So a little bit of trivia for you there.
Nice. I wonder what the hook would have been for Moldy Raspberry if it wasn't that title.
Ooh, my raspberries are not fresh. I don't know, man. More work on that needed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Long Way Round and You Are the River, you can easily tell where the hook is for that. So.
Oh yeah, hugely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so You Are the River. It's been out a week. Really, really good song.
Oh, cheers.
Thank you.
Not that I doubted you.
We really owe a lot to Alex for helping us bring out the best in that song, because there were just so many things, even from the beginning demo stages when we started working with him on it, there were so many things that were like, wow, like we didn't even think of doing it like that kind of thing. Like he's really, really helped out with the creative process so much. We genuinely wouldn't have been able to do without him at all, I think. So big shout out to Alex Kopp. Alex Kopp Music on Instagram. Go follow him.
Yeah, for real. Alex has brought a lot of extra sugar and spice to our productions. And to be honest, I'm just totally happy with the way that this recording process got stretched out over all those years. It really gave the track time to grow and flourish into what it is now. Like, it would have sucked if we just left it at that first recording we did and said that's all it is. Like,
yeah, imagine.
We would have missed out on a lot of good vibes, I think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
But then ultimately, end up with a song that you're not quite happy with, but you were happy with at the time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we all got better at what we were doing in between the first recording and now. So we all brought a little more than we had originally. And I think it shows in all the songs that we've got now.
Yeah, 100%. Sure. It's really weird because it's like, I remember I watched, I was listening on Instagram to, I think it's Sean from While She Sleeps, and he's talking about how it's like, it's really important to sort of like, it's to be your own music's like biggest fan. And I really, really like take from that, because with all the songs that we've been doing so far, I've been listening to them like every single day. Like I have not, like, I'm such a big fan of like my band's own songs and kind of thing. I absolutely just love sitting there and listening to them. Like every now and again, I'll if I'm sat in my bedroom or something like that, I'll be like, I'm going to listen to my band stuff. Like, it's not out yet, like some of it, but it's like, I want to listen to it because it's gotten to the point where I'm like, yeah, I'm just proud of it at this point. And it feels good to give that to everyone else at this point as well.
It always makes me laugh. Like, how Spotify has got on one panel, like what your friends are listening to, and like Apple Music's kind of got, oh, here's some albums that your friends are listening to. Like seeing friends in bands, just like, with whatever song that they've just released, like being as the current playing song. And it's like, yeah, I get that you're also doing it for plays, but also, but yeah, as you were saying, just being your own music's biggest fan, it kind of ties into that whole, don't sell a product that you wouldn't then use. You know, like don't release it. It's an argument that a lot of people come back to with music. You know, an artist is selling out, or maybe they're just making music that they like, you know, listening to, and you know, this is what they're doing, and they're enjoying. So it's good to it's really good to hear that, you know, you guys fucking love your own music.
I fucking love our music, man. Fucking love it.
I was going to say, I'm adding to add to that. It's like usually before I go to bed and stuff, I just listen to music and then just kind of thrash out in my room and stuff, just for the sake of it. And recently, I've just been putting on the final mixes of all the songs, and it's like, right, how can I play this live to like have the showmanship style? Because I guess that's really what I've got for me live. Like, I don't have the technical ability that attracts some bassists. I don't have the kind of good looks that attracts people to other bassists, like Pete Wentz or something.
Nah, mate, you're selling yourself short here.
Yeah, man.
Nah. Well, I try to do the showmanship stuff instead, which is why, like, in the video for You Are the River, there's the massive hair flick towards the breakdown, which R.I.P. long hair. It's all cut off now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That hair flip is so epic, man. I love it.
Yeah.
Do come see us live if we do gigs in the future. I'm sure you'll find something enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%. I think that's the only thing we've not really sort of like with the whole process going on. It's kind of nice to not sort of, I mean, we love gigging and everything like that. Like we, you know, in second year especially, we took every single opportunity we could to gig, you know. But it's kind of nice to sort of feel like recording is the big focus, because obviously live music, sadly, you know, I don't think that's going to be back to normal until maybe next year. So it's nice to sort of give it the like all like 100% our focus, and I think that's really, really helped with the recording and production and just the general attitude to recording our stuff.
I imagine it also adds like an element of not like overly focusing on, oh, how are we going to play this live when you are recording, because it doesn't matter. You can think about that later. Just, you know, record what it is that you want to record.
Yeah, true.
That's very
You've been a bit more like free to add synth lines and stuff, probably more guitar lines than it's possible to play in places. Just get a bit more
100%.
creative with it. And as you say, we can always think about that later. We can start playing to clicks and use backing tracks and whatever. We could get a freaking synth player, you know.
Yeah. That's one thing Alex has helped out with as well, is sorting out like backing tracks and stems for us and everything like that. So if we ever needed to, we can just, you know, throw them on live or anything like that. As long as we've got like a click, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
So that's really good.
As a videographer's note, a click track also helps with making live videos.
That is true.
Yeah, it's very, very useful. Leading on from that, we've been really trying to throw on the synths for ours, and we never thought of doing that in like first and second year at all. We were like, nah, we're a 4-piece. There's just 2 guitars, a bass, drums, and vocals. And then now especially when we used to do like Zooms with Alex, and he would like open the Pro Tools file, and we would just see how many tracks there were. It's like, Christ, man. There's just so many. Yeah. You Are the River must have had like what, 70 odd channel strips or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. It
Huge.
was intense. Yeah, it's like it's like when we say like using synths and stuff, it's just for like accents and little extra bits and stuff. We don't want to become like full synth. We don't want to go full pop, but we want to keep the rock
just
element.
A bit of flavor in there.
Yeah,
I think it was Alex kind of encouraged us to go a bit more synthy in places, because he's added a few layers himself that he came up with, and he was kind of saying like, guys, just go crazy with it, see what sounds you can make, and we'd try it out. So I've just been kind of messing with different synth plugins and trying to make some retro vibes.
Yeah.
Like Raspberry, we didn't have really, well, we had no synth on there. We had no synth on anything to begin with. But now I think it just adds that little extra flavor that makes
all 3 of these songs have synths on them now.
Yeah.
Bring it back to, you know, You Are the River specifically as well, like on this topic. You know, there's that bridge that's got the synth just in the back of it, and I feel like it would be a bit emptier and, you know, not quite have the same flow without the synth to it, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Synths are good sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. That's a definite good example of the synth kind of accenting it a bit to kind of fill out the rest of it.
I think in the bridge, I want to say that it is a synth that is also doubled up with the guitar where the reverb is just absolutely cranked on it or something like that. I think I actually recorded that with Alex, and it was going through my DT whammy, pushed up an octave, with a Valhalla shimmer on it. It's just absolutely cranked, and then he's throwing a synth on it as well, which just adds way more.
Yeah, those shimmer guitar sections that we've got in Raspberry as well, like so tasty. Like Alex has just got a killer collection of plugins. He knows exactly what sounds he can make, and we've got some like spacier kind of ethereal vibes going on now as well, which is new, but it's a really good inclusion.
Yeah, it actually kind of works well with the theming of the EP as well, because the whole idea of the EPs is that, like, the original idea of going back to the album was we're dividing it into 4 sections, each one representing a certain season, because that was the only way I could think of how to like separate You Are the River from like Brutal Truth and Crossface, which are a lot heavier, and have it on the same album, just kind of organize it a bit. So each EP is a season, and because of the timing of this, Viridian is spring, and it's just kind of all these kind of spacey feels with it. It kind of just makes it feel a bit more, I guess, organic in some ways. So it's like more kind of blossoming, full of life, that kind of stuff. So it's trying to emulate spring in some way.
Also mastered, You Are the River, I should say. You Are the River mastered by, is it Akel or Akel from TesseracT?
Good question.
Akel, I think.
I'm aware of TesseracT.
Because Akel's the name of the next village along from me, so I always thought it was Akel, but okay.
Maybe. That's a coincidence.
Yeah, he's done the mastering for all 3 tracks, and it's actually quite ironic, actually, because I think the name of Resist In Retrospect accidentally came from a TesseracT album, so it's kind of come full circle.
There's 2 songs on one of their albums where like one song is called Resist and one song is called Retrospect. And I remember me and Tom speaking about it after we named the band in the first year. I think he messaged me being like, "Did you know that like our band, like the name is like 2 TesseracT songs put together?" And I went, "Oh shit, really?" And it was like, yeah, and we just stuck with it. So it is come full circle in a way, having him do that.
That's on Altered State, I think, isn't it? Well, aren't the tracks like next to each other in the running order as well?
Oh yeah.
I think it's Of Matter Retrospect first, and then Of Matter Resists after that.
Yeah, it's spooky, but like I'm so happy that we've got that TesseracT connection in there with Akel's mastering. Like that was a real good idea to use him.
So no fanboy vibes, just professional appreciation.
Professional appreciation in abundance.
But also
very talented. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's better that way instead of us ending up, because I think during the band practice where we decided, right, we need a band name, ended up looking through band name Reddit, which was an awful idea.
Yeah, and then we even tried some generators, I believe.
Yeah,
and then sucked.
Then at one point, Connor just said Resist In Retrospect, and it was like, perfect, that's it.
In my head, I was thinking of something where like, you know, the main focus of it was like 2 words that started sort of like with the same letter or were like a similar thing. So it would kind of roll off a little bit easier, or it could also be abbreviated, which thankfully it can.
R&R.
R&R.
Forgot my point now.
You're just saying how much you enjoyed You Are the River, right?
Yeah,
and how everyone should go and buy it.
Everyone should definitely go and buy it. Do people buy songs? I still buy songs.
Yeah, probably not.
You know.
Listen to it.
There is, as far as the EP is concerned, there is like the whole, you know, Spotify distribution and stuff planned, right?
Yep. Spotify, iTunes, all the big dogs will be out there. Bandcamp as well.
Bandcamp's important.
Bandcamp is the best way to do so. We get bigger revenue share than any of the other services. So if you do want to shoot some money our way, Bandcamp. Also, we're going to have some merch potentially up on there soon. So just keep your eyes peeled. Resist In Retrospect on Bandcamp. Also, any other place where you might like to listen to music. We'll be there.
And obviously as well, you know, like the last time I had you on, it was before the pandemic, but the last year, Bandcamp have been just so good for like, you know, independent artists and stuff that, you know, every now and then they've been having like the whole fee waivers and stuff. It might just be to also, announce Bandcamp to people who weren't aware of it. A cynical mind might, point out, but also, just that whole ethos of, an artist's music is an artist's music. Like, people buying that music should be directly, contributing towards that artist rather than, getting 0.00006p to listening to it once, which isn't going to help anybody,
No.
It's not going to pay rent.
No, it's really not.
Listens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we were sorting out the sort of, because I'm the one who does the distribution and everything like that, because I already had a DistroKid account. So I thought if I just upgrade to the next one, and that allows me to manage both my own stuff release and my band stuff release. And I was looking, when I upgraded it, it like gave me some like stats and everything like that, but I was able to finally access like the bank thing of it. And because DistroKid is American, it comes through as dollars. So it was like, you have made 78 cents from your single Always. And I was like, oh, that's neat. And then I was like, that's 30p. And I'm like, that's from like 126 listens. And I'm like, oh, man.
That's sick, man. Stacking those racks.
Yeah. I just thought that was really funny when I was looking at DistroKid being like, man, people make it's so difficult to sort of like, unless you've got a really consistent following like through Apple Music and Spotify, it's really difficult to make music through that. So yeah, like Bandcamp is amazing for like directly helping out artists and stuff like that.
And then you've also got conversion fees, like if you're using PayPal or whatever, or someone else, like I get my Patreon income in dollars because it's an American site. And like, I could get $60 a month, means I'm also getting about 20 quid. It's good that people are going to be able to, go and stream it and stuff and, feel like they can contribute anyway. And Bandcamp especially, I love Bandcamp, always have.
Yeah, first Friday of the month is the day where they waive the fees. So if you wanted to support us even more, like 10-20% more, wherever their share is, that's a good day.
Just wait a week to buy the EP.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. We don't mind if people just stream it first and then like buy it later on kind of thing. It's fine by us. As long as people are listening to our stuff. That's like the main thing is like, at the end of the day, we could listen to this and we could blow up. We could sit at like 10 listeners for like 7 months kind of thing. As long as it's out there for the world to listen to, I think that is the most important thing for sure.
Like I put some music on Spotify a couple of years ago, and every now and then I get like an email from them being like, your listenership grew 300% this month. And I'm like, okay, so I got 3 listeners. Fantastic.
Yeah. Nice.
I get them as well.
Yeah, it's hilarious, but also nice to know that someone cared a little bit. It's just those little bits of serotonin that you need.
Yeah, 100%.
A little bit of serotonin in these trying times.
Can I offer you a crumb of serotonin?
A crumb of serotonin could be an EP title. Obviously not this one, or any of the next 3, but still.
We've still got, I think, maybe 7 songs that still need titles for the upcoming 3 EPs, so that's something we can consider.
Yeah, 100%.
I demand royalties. Serotonin doesn't pay the bills, god damn it.
No, exposure does.
Exposure.
Oh, yeah, exposure.
It's exposure that pays the bills. God, man. If anyone, I think if you run a business and you don't pay a band even just like a tiny sum, if you were like, oh, it's, you'll get loads of people following you and stuff like that. I'm like, nah, just pay people, man. People have got to pay bills. Done far too many gigs for free in my lifetime to tolerate it anymore.
And the way that I tend to see it is, if you do a free thing and the idea is, oh, people might follow us, 10% of the people that attend that gig will follow you. 10% of them will, purchase something. 10% of them will, then go on to do, something else that's more engaging and stuff like that. And it's like, cool. So I've got 0.1% or whatever.
Yeah.
Of, how much I should have been owed.
It's not the best, but unfortunately, it's how some business models work.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've done far too many free gigs, I think. I mean, some of them were great. Like some of them I won't ever complain about. Like when we throw back to Hang the DJ, and
Got paid for that.
oh no, sorry, not Hang the DJ. It was when we did Hood Live, but we got free food and beer, which was nice.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of free beer.
We got to perform to the biggest crowd we have still performed to through that as well.
That was pretty big.
Yeah. And then we had my least favorite gig, which was supporting Crazy Town.
Oh yeah, don't remind me of that. That was a mess that night.
Yeah, the one good thing is we did get one guy who liked us on Facebook after that, and it's the same guy who came up to me when I was trying to rush away in a mad bit of anger and say like, "Oh, you guys were amazing." I was like, "Oh my god, thank you." And it's like, "Go like us on Facebook," and he did. So like, boom, we got one thing out of that.
Yeah, me trying to escape in a rage.
Yeah, that was
man.
not.
I do not blame you whatsoever, though. That was that was a hell of a mess of that gig.
Right, I'm going to test something now that hasn't been done with a multiple person podcast.
Oh, okay.
I've started doing a quick fire round at the end of the podcast, and I've only done it with like one-on-ones. So this time, you've all got to answer quick fire.
Okay.
Let's get started with a quick fire round. Pro Tools or Logic?
Pro Tools.
Logic.
Only because I know how to use Pro Tools.
I thought you were Pro Tools man, Connor.
I can use both, but I prefer Logic.
Fairs.
Arctic Monkeys or Last Shadow Puppets?
Arctic Monkeys. Early Arctic Monkeys.
Monkeys.
Yeah. Early
It's no
Monkeys.
competition. Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
Marvel, but DC animation.
I don't even know which are which, to be honest. They're all just like superheroes to me. Is that blasphemy?
No, it's understandable.
I like them though. I think they're both great.
Song on repeat at the minute.
You Are the River by Resist In Retrospect.
Yeah. I'd probably say No Scared by One OK Rock.
Future Islands Thrill. I'm doing like a cover of that at the minute, so I've been listening to that quite a lot.
You Are All You Need by While She Sleeps. 100%.
Oh yeah, that's also a good one for me actually.
Netflix or Prime?
Netflix.
But you can say Netflix or chill. Netflix.
I think, yeah.
Intimate or arena gigs?
Ooh.
Intimate.
Yeah, Intimate.
Yeah.
Although that time that we played Wembley Stadium was pretty dope.
Yeah, man.
The dream.
I have a friend who has played Wembley Stadium, actually.
That's sick.
No.
Reading or Leeds?
Reading.
Leeds.
Reading!
You're both wrong.
It's because neither of us have been to Leeds. You have.
Yeah,
but then again, you haven't been to Reading.
This is such a north-south divide in the band, isn't it?
What's the other Connor's?
He's from same place as me.
He'll say
Leeds. So it was like what I always think like if we ever do get to the point where we play Reading and Leeds, we'd basically have a competition where it's basically me and Tom against Connor and other Connor about who can have the loudest and most passionate crowd. And
Leeds.
To be honest, it'll vary depending on where we are. If it's the main stage, probably Leeds. But if it's the Rocks, then I'd give Reading a shout.
Oh, we'll see.
Barrier or Pit?
Barrier.
Pit
for sure, man. Although I do love the Barrier, but Pit mainly.
I prefer Barrier just because you can catch picks and stuff.
Yeah, otherwise if you're doing it from the pit or further back, you've just got photos of phones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas instead on the Barrier, you are the phone.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'll admit, I do a bit of recording, but I always do it like down here so that no one behind me gets blocked because they already have my 6'2" tall head to deal with.
You could get it like sewn into your hoodie or something. It'd be like a Teletubby.
I wanted to do that for so long.
Like you could put a GoPro onto your chest.
I always want. It's like, can GoPros be allowed? But then it's like, yeah, but they probably won't allow GoPros because that's technically a camera.
Yeah, I was once at a gig, and this person who was on Barrier Row was wearing both a really big Mac, which is how I assume he got it in, but also like had some sort of like neck harness, like for just like a phone that was basically filming the whole like gig, and he also had like a Zoom mic or something along those lines, and I was like,
oh wow,
this seems very illegal.
Yeah.
But also, I'm feeling unwell, and I don't want to, and I don't like confrontation. So I'm just going to stand behind you. But yeah, no, I like getting a good photo from a gig.
Yeah,
I like getting knocked out in a brawl.
Yeah, I'm very much. I'll take a video and I'll take like a few good photos and maybe like 1 or 2 videos, like really short ones, and then like I just put my phone in my pocket and then I'm just vibing for the rest of the gig.
I don't trust myself to take my phone out of my pocket when I'm at a gig.
Same.
I don't think it'll make it home.
I'm constantly checking my pockets at gigs to make sure I've got everything. Like literally every 30 seconds, I'm like,
Don't remind me, Connor.
oh man, when we thought we lost our wallet while she slept.
Yeah, I thought I lost my wallet when Connor and I went to see While She Sleeps in Manchester. But in reality, all it was because my jacket I had didn't have like pockets that buttoned up. Basically, on the way there in the car, my wallet had fallen down, like down past the car seat, past the like where the seatbelt is, and it was there the entire time. And Connor, like after the gig, Connor was like going back to the car to check, and I was in the venue looking around, like, has anyone seen a wallet? Has anyone seen a wallet? Came back, Connor said, I don't think I've found it. I was like, shit. So I opened the car. I was like, this is the last place it could be. Thank God.
Yeah.
I once lost my phone twice at a Frank Carter gig.
Amazing.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I lost it falling over, but someone just it was literally the last song, and someone like saw me looking around, panic, saying, "Have you lost the phone?" I was like, "Yes," and he just handed it to me. 20 minutes later, where the fuck is my phone? And then like I'd literally lost it a second time, but someone had handed it in behind the bar.
Oh,
That's
nice.
sad.
Was that mosh related?
Lady luck on your side with that,
I
man.
know, right? What was that, Sam?
Was that mosh related?
Well, the second time wasn't because the gig had finished.
Oh.
I was just hanging around in Brudenell because Brudenell's a really cool as fuck venue,
Yeah,
and why would you leave it?
Bruno's sick.
Yeah. But
Yeah, that's fair.
the sheer panic for, the entire time I was looking for it, I was like, I can't have put it anywhere, because who loses a phone twice?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, so other than already having streamed the shit out of You Are the River and being excited about an EP, what should people be doing for Resist In Retrospect who are listening?
They should be following our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for future updates and news or anything like that. It's just, if you just search in Resist In Retrospect on all platforms, will come up.
Support us, like us, stream, and buy, most importantly, then stream the EP, and keep an eye out for the EP being released in 2 weeks, and then the inevitable next 3 EPs, which will be spread out, let's say, over the next year.
Cue the apocalypse now that Jamie's mentioned it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the world's going to end now.
COVID 2021.
We're going to soundtrack it all for you.
Yeah.
Soundtrack to the apocalypse, Resist In Retrospect.
Yep.
Sounds like a good name for a playlist.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on.
No worries.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming on again, I should mention.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
You're listening to Fresh from the Scene with Ruby Price.
Thank you very much for listening. If you enjoyed that, please do give it a share on social media, and be sure to follow Resist In Retrospect and myself on social media. As I said, there's links in the description. Be sure to pre-order the Resist In Retrospect EP when links go live, and do listen to their brand new single, You Are the River. It's available on Apple Music, Spotify, wherever you get your tunes. There's even a music video, edited by me. But all that aside, thank you very much, and goodbye.